Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Inside F1, for the first episode of 2026. Today, we're chatting once again with CEO Raphaël Salles and General Manager Julien Salles. Welcome.
Thank you
Hello.
for inviting us.
Today, we'll be talking about the R&D team, our team of designers, and how the entire R&D is structured here at F1. So let's get right into it. The structure of the R&D at F1 has significantly changed over the last few years. Can one of you tell us about how it used to be and what it looks like now and why it has changed?
So there were two major things that happened in the last few years I took over the business in the last few years, and my parents, my mother slowly stepping away from the business, and my dad is focusing solely on R&D and testing and product side. It was quite different before. So that implied a big change in R&D organization. And the second thing is the new sports coming and the range expanding. We used to do only kiting. Now we do kiting, winging, foiling, downwinding, para-winging, K-winging, Manera surfing. So that's a lot of things. So these two things pushed us to reorganize the whole company as a whole, but also mainly the R&D service.
Yeah, Julien took over the company and he's 36 now. I'm 63. And he told me that in 10 years, you're not going to be there anymore. So you need to organize the R&D so I can manage the company and be successful like before. As you know, it's really difficult to replace 40 years of experience. So we start to look for new designers, new testers, to be sure that during the next 10 years or 5-6 years, they can learn how we would like to have the product and how we work and what is the target, On top of this, it's true that we have so many different disciplines that it's difficult to be the best in each discipline. To be the best designer for bigger kite, the best designer for wave riding or free riding, kiting, do the best wing and do the best para wing. It's a huge challenge. You need to have specialists of each discipline. So that's why years after year, we have a designer, and now we have 4 different designers for the wings and the kite.
How did it look before compared to now?
Yeah, before I was alone with Robert Graham, and we were mainly do a bandit. And that's it, for 17 years, we used to have only one kite. Today it's a lot different. We have 2 different kites for bigger. We still have the bandit. We have the one strut and the wave kite. So it's a lot of different products that are really far from each other as well. It's completely different discipline, different target. So from one kite, we went to 5 or 6. In 2019, the wing arrived, and we have 4 different wings. And now, since 1 year, we have the para wing on top of it. And because we don't have enough work, we create the K wing with the prim. So one more range to manage. Each product and each model, it's a huge process. You need to do prototypes. You need to do validation and all the sizes. So it's a lot of hours on the water to prepare, test, and check everything is ready for production.
So perhaps we can go into each discipline. So do you want to talk about how the kite R&D is happening now? Because before it was you and Robert, as you say. Yeah. How is it now?
Now, what is important is that each designer is able to do his own testing. If you look at the tandem of myself and Robert is designing, but I do 99% of the testing for him. Now with Ralph Rosel, Charles Baudel, and Nicolas Caillou, they are all able to design, test, and almost finish the product by themselves. And we just have inside F1 to do a checking sometime that they're on the right track and that the product will really be what we need. So it's a different process, and it's a chance to have the designer being a tester, being able to tune the bridle and be able to deliver a product that is 90% finished. It's a huge step for me because I just have to check sometime one size, say, okay, this is what we need.
And not a lot of people in the world are able to do that also. Design, test, confirm, know where to go. So that's really important to find the right people to do that.
Yeah, it's to understand how Ralph, that is outside F1, Charles and Nico and Robert that are really inside the company. Ralph is more like an architect. You visit him and you say, I want a house like this, like that. And you're going to live inside the house. And he should design what you need and not what he would like to have. So that's really, it's also a little bit new for Ralph because he was used to work for Duotone before and he was doing testing, validation, and with his own tester. And no one from the company was really saying yes or no. And now he send me prototype and samples, and sometimes I say, no, this is not what we need. And sometimes we not on the same way, the same track. So it's funny sometimes, but it's good.
And you still want him and all of them to maintain that F1 DNA, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's important. Sometimes for the designer that were not used to work with us, they do maybe 5-6 proto and they think it is finished. And normally we push and we most of the time need 12 proto to be able to reach our target. So sometimes it's a little bit new for them, but they love it because they are able to really go deep into the product.
What do Ralph and Charles bring to the kite R&D? And we'll talk about Nico afterwards.
Yes, after. It's different discipline. After spending more than 15 years on the Bandit with Robert, trying to make it good from wave riding to jumping and free riding, we were not really specialized into pure bigger, for example. So going to the 5-strut kite and going to the biggest side was really too new for me and Robert, and plus the lack of time. Ralph was the best in the world for the bigger. So it was really fantastic for F1 to pick up each designer from where they are the best and bring them all together under the same brand. It's I think the F1 situation today with those 4 designers is unique because they are the best in the world for each discipline and they're all under the F1 company. Charles is different. His Brodel is super talented in his own discipline. He almost created the bigger kite foiling by his own. He's 25 and one day he said, I'm really passionate about designing. So I said, let's go. Let's try because it's really rare today to have a rider that is on the top of the world, but as well able to design his own kite. Charles and Robert were talking a lot together. So Robert was teaching to Charles how to use the software, how to do not do this type of mistake and helping him every time he has a question. And when Ralph arrived, Charles and Ralph were really close together as well. And Ralph was giving a lot of information to Charles. So he's 25 years old, but he has the experience from Robert, from Ralph, and now he's talking as well a lot with Nico. And the important thing to know is that each designer is really specialized in one discipline. So if one designer has a question, he has the way to do not give information because they are not competing. They are not in competition each other. They are all in one discipline and they help them. Each of them is helping the other, to succeed. And more we have a success in one discipline, and I can see and I feel it that the other designers are even more motivated to do better. So all 4 together, they are in competition, but
it's a healthy competition.
Healthy competition, I will say, and they really, it's new. I feel it since only a year, that organization. And for the public and the customer and our customer, they don't really see it yet, but with that team and the way Julien has set up everything and the vision from Julien for the future, it's going to be really impressive, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, I think 5 years ago, we started talking about me taking over the company, something like that. And I remember sitting in the office behind and telling you, I will be ready to take over the company, but I see one major flaw is the R&D department. If he leaves, then that would be complicated because he was doing 99% of the testing, as he said, and a lot of the vision behind the products and everything. So I'm stepping in the R&D also, but I can't have the same commitment as he has. Because the way it was structured before is my dad was handling all the fun stuff, so marketing, R&D, and a bit of commercial, and my mom was dealing with all the not so fun stuff, so administrative, finance, human resources, legal, and a bit of commercial too. And me, as I'm stepping, by myself, even if I was surrounded by a great team, I can't focus on just marketing and R&D, and I need to have an eye on all the other things too. So I can't have the same commitment as him on the R&D team. So what I answered when he asked me if I want to take over the company in a few years, I said, okay, but I want you to be open, and I want us to create the new R&D department and system and hire the right people and everything. So it took 5 years, I would say. But now I'm really, really confident in what we can achieve. And I think the products are speaking by themselves. You know, if you look at things like the frigate nowadays, the trigger, the banger that is going to come, and the strike, all these products are made by different people, but all these products have been a success and are going to be a success. So I'm really confident now, and I'm happy we did all that work, even if it was challenging sometimes and long. I'm not so patient. So.
It's funny because I was doing everything by myself for 20 years or more. People were thinking that I love to do everything and I cannot give it away, you know. But now when I receive a kite from Ralph, there's a new trigger or the banger, or I can test sometime the para wings from Nico. It's fantastic for me to test a product that is better than what I could do, and just have to finalize it a little bit and make sure the bar filling is the F1 bar filling and some details like this. But I love R&D, I love testing, I love discovering new things, and if some high-level designer can make perfect things, it's fantastic for myself.
Yeah. So you still have the final say for all products, basically, right?
Yes, still. But after 2, 3, 4 years, each designer will know the F1 feeling and they will know what we like. And at the end, I will not have to really check, I think.
I was a bit afraid when you first started to test with Charles, Ralph, and Nico. I was like, is he going to let go, or is he going to try to have 100% control? And I remember the first call when you tested, I think, with Ralph.
Last year,
and he said, okay, the kite is incredible. That was a Bandit at the time, I think. And I was like, all right, cool. That's a good sign. He's really open to work with someone else. And so I was really, really stoked on this. Like the first call, I was shaking, and he told me the kite is incredible. And we're talking about the Bandit, which is a kite that he's been working on for
17
years at the time. So that was huge for me. So I really thought, like, this sentence, I thought, okay, we're good. We're going to be good.
After we're all really passionate about designing, testing, you know. So when we meet each other and we have the same goal, it's really fantastic.
Do you want to talk about what you do every morning driving here? And you're on the phone with Robert every morning, right?
Yes, yeah. Robert is in Switzerland, so we don't see really much. Every morning we have a call and I have a half an hour drive, so it's perfect.
Well, then sometimes it's 9:30, and someone's like, "Where's Raph?" I'm like, "Did you look in the garage?" Because he stays in the garage in his car, still speaking to Robert on the phone.
It's
And
more
then sometimes
comfortable.
half an hour drive and then half an hour in the garage.
Yeah, some days.
Do you speak as regularly with Ralph and Charles, or are they a bit more
No,
on their own? Yeah.
less with Ralph and Charles. Yeah.
They're more independent.
They're more independent. They're able to do their own thing. And I really just have to check sometime where they are, where do they go, if they are on the right track, if the product is really what we are waiting.
It's not like we're talking about them being independent, but having the F1 DNA, as you said, Christina, is really important to us. So we regularly check and test together. So I don't test kites. I'm more focused on other things like foils and boards and power wings. So I regularly go with Nico testing the power wings to make sure that we're on the right track, because there are things as designing, but there's also, before designing, you need to know what you want to achieve, where you want to go. For the power wings, for example, should we push for more upwind angle, speed, or should we push for more control, smoothness, everything? So we have to define that before the designers go into doing their works. And along the way, we have to verify that they're still on the right track. And sometimes we have obviously to evolve depending on what they found, but that's mainly our job, I would say. Testing, but also checking that the product's characteristics, product expectation is well respected.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when we look at the other brand, they are out of the subject sometimes, They design something, they propose it to the market, but it's not what customers are waiting. This is the biggest challenge, to know what customer would like to have in 6 months or 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year and a half sometimes. If we're on the right timing, 1 year and a half.
It's changing really fast right now.
Yeah.
Since 2-3 years, it's really challenging for the brand to be able to go from kite to power wing and wings. It's completely different sports.
We're lucky because the industry is dynamic and it's really passionate about it. And we are lucky to be in an industry in a sport where few years ago, like 7 or 8 years ago, all you could do was kiting. And still it was great because you could do kite foiling, strapless, twin tip, free ride, big air, which is already great. But now you can, in the back of your car, you can have a kite, a wing, a power wing, some foils, maybe prone surf foils or sub downwind, and depending on the condition, you can make the most of it. So as a brand, it's hard because we need to adapt and do many more products. But as a consumer and rider, it's amazing.
We've already mentioned him a few times, but do you want to talk about Nicolas Caillou, who joined the team a few months ago?
Yeah. No, a year and a half ago.
Oh, more than a year, huh?
Got in my dad's office, and I was like, okay, Dad, we have put in place the new R&D structure for the kites and the wings. With Robert, it's going well. You guys are developing the K-wing, but I think we need to do a para wing because this thing looks quite good. And we had done para wings 2 years before, but we did one sample round and it didn't really work. We tried it, but it was not really comfortable. It was not really going upwind great. So we abandoned the project. And so he told me, first, I'm not sure about it because we tried and it didn't really work. And second, we don't have the bandwidth to do that. We don't have time. And so I was like, oh, right. So how do we do it? There's a new sport and we don't have the bandwidth to develop the products for it. And so he came with the idea of talking to Nicolas Caillou on the Zico brand for 20 years, 25, maybe more years. Nico lives in Montpellier, or next to Montpellier. So we did not really know each other, but we saw him on the spots every time we went testing. So just saying hi and not more, But we knew, apart from his brand Zico, he was also designing stuff for the brands as a freelance. And my dad saw him testing Parawings at the beach. So he was like, let's call Nicolas. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's weird because like we've seen each other for 20 years, but never really talked business. And I was like, okay, great idea. I remember dropping Nico a text, and a few hours after he was calling me. So I thought, maybe he's interested. So for 6 months, he worked as a freelance on a frigate. It was quite amazing to work together. We spent quite a lot of time going on test days and exchanging on the program and the characteristics of a Parawing, what it should do. And it worked so well that 6 months after, we decided to offer him a job, full-time job. So now he's right there working full-time for F1. And that's great. And he's almost fully focused on Parawings and K-Wing stuff. So it's a new designer for a new sport.
And as you say, necessary because there's so many new sports, new disciplines arriving. And even though now we have 4 people working on kites, it's still
on sales.
So much. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and also Nico, you see the amount of energy he puts in Parawings. And I'm thinking someone that will have to do kite, wings, and Parawings cannot put the same energy into it, especially with Nico's energy, because since my dad, I haven't seen someone so eager to go on the water and test and spend some time on the water to fine-tune everything. So both of them are freaks, and it's really interesting to work with them.
Yeah, most afternoons.
Freaks in a good way, obviously.
Most afternoons, he's not even in the office. He's in the water, like you, Raph, really.
Yeah, for sure.
They're kind of the same. It's funny. It's really funny.
Tuning each bridle for each proto of Parawing, it's 3-4 hours. So it's a lot of work. And as we have 4 different designers, they are not all in the office. And we have 3 different factories. Nico is now in charge of all the construction reinforcement details. So each designer has the same finish, same reinforcement, same valve, same sewing. Everything is the same coming from each designer and going to each factory, which is something that we didn't need to do before because we had one designer, one factory, and it was easy, But now, different factory, different designer, they have to have the same plan, same construction, same reinforcement, same valve everywhere. It's a challenge too, and lucky Nico can handle it.
Yeah.
And Nico is also getting into the R&D for material and cloth. So he's in charge of that as well. So when we have some development to do, he's taking care of it. He's giving the new sample of material to the designer, explain them how to use them. So it's really a huge team now that we have.
That's why I said almost focused on Parawings and K-Wings. There are some things that take a lot of time too.
Yeah, Nico is full-time since September, but he already visits the 3 factory, meet the people there. That's a big improvement for us regarding the quality of every kite we will deliver.
And if we want to finish talking about everything that's sailing, we also have a team that's taking care of the accessories, and notably with the new bar, the Atom, which we released a few months ago. Do you want to talk about that team as well? That's really focusing on what we call accessories, but I mean, the bar is a pretty important piece of equipment.
Yeah, in the R&D office there, because everything we do is done in-house. So there's no, or very rare moments where we use external R&D service, designers or engineers. And so in-house, we have, let's not talk about the foils yet because we're going to talk about it later. But for everything accessory related, we have 2 product designers and 2 engineers. So they could do some graphics for the T-shirts as well as pieces for the Atom bar and everything in between, neoprene, pads. So they work on the plastic, the metal, aluminium, EVA, foams, neoprene, polyester cotton T-shirts. I mean, they work on everything. So they are also designing a good part of the range, obviously. They are working closely with the designers, obviously, because, it's a chain. The wing or the kite or the power wing is not just working solely. It needs to work with lines. It needs to work with the bar. It needs to work with the harness. And even the board is important and the foil. It needs to match with what we've done with the sails. So, the whole team is working together there. Test team also. The test team is really important. So maybe you want to talk about it because you spend more time with them than I do.
I used to do all the testing with Mika since 20 years, 2006 with Mika. Yeah. It's impressive. So we are really
super a party for your anniversary.
Organized. But now we have Jules Chollet and Matt Argentin also joining the testing on the water. So sometimes we are 4 and we can switch equipment on the water and have 4 different foils or 4 different wings at the same time on the water and be more effective. Sometimes 2 testers can do something, the 2 other testers can do something else, and I just have to check at the end that everything is really on the right direction. So we are more efficient on the spot when we have, like, sometimes we only have 4 hours, 2 hours of wind, and we need to have to test all the different products we have received, because with 4 designers and all the discipline, for sure, every morning you have new proto coming into the garage. Need to be urgently tested, so we need to be 4 on the water. And Matt and Jules are younger than myself and Mika, so they are learning how to do the testing and what type of result we need and what type of conclusion they should give to the designer so they can improve the product.
So you test. I know there's a lot of emails going back and forth to discuss, and then what do you do after? You ask for a new prototype? And
after each day, we do a report by mail so everybody can read it. And if we are 4 testers testing the same product, everyone has to do a report, because sometimes you have some differences in the feelings or the things you would like. And so it's good for the designer to see like 2 or 3 or 4 different conclusions to have a right analysis.
I try to always don't read the others' feedbacks until I read and send mine. Otherwise, you can be influenced.
Yes.
So I don't know if the others are doing the same.
Yeah, we do. Each one we write and then we send and we read the conclusion from the other after. Yeah. And it's important to test something, but say, okay, this is good for that, and we should improve this and go that direction. That's where the designer should go and what the designer should improve. It's really important. If you send the designer to the wrong way, it's for sure it's not going to work.
You want to talk about how the foils are made at F1, especially the prototype, everything. How does that work?
Yeah, prototype is an important thing, because I was about to say that we always try to avoid any bottleneck in the R&D development. So as we said, it's very good to have 4 designers for sales, but if you don't have the structure to test all the products that are coming out, then it's useless, because you create a bottleneck in testing, and then your designers, they don't know what to do because they don't have any feedback. So you need the right design team, you need the right factory, you need the right sample department. Sometimes the sample department is at the factory, sometimes it's in here. We're going to talk about it for foils. And you need the right test team, and you need the right feedback, and then you need someone to say, okay, now it's time to go on production, or no, it's not too, it's too early, it's not ready yet. So that's the whole structure. And we want no bottleneck in the middle. In terms of foiling, how we work is we have 2 designers. I feel like we explained that a lot already, but Charles Bertrand is designing the shape of the foils. So when you look at the foil and you see the outline, the curvature, the profile, it comes from Charles. And then Doc, who's called Raphaël, but we already had a Raphaël in the office, so we call him Doc. Doc is a structure designer, so he's designing the structure of the foil. So you don't particularly see it. It is what inside the foil, what the foil is made of. So the carbon layer he used, which type of carbon he used, at which angles, how much materials, and so everything. We always say that they are both equally important, the shape design and the structural design. And then in terms of sample department, we had to make a move a few years ago because doing your samples at the factory, it means creating a metal, aluminium, I think. Yeah, it's an aluminium mold.
Metal, yeah.
And it takes around 1.5 to 2 months to CNC. And so for us, as we are used to have new samples every weeks on the sales side and other products, we just can't work and develop and improve our products with a sample every 2 months. That's just impossible. So we have created the sample room here, and we have a CNC machine, we have molds, we have everything that we can do in-house, our own molds and foils. So we have a process that mimics and really feels like the production foils, but it is made here in the garage by Doc and also Matt Argentin. Yeah. So Matt is testing on the water, but when there's no wind, he's in the room also building foils. And so that allows us to we can design and test a foil within 1 week, 10 days. So if we have an idea on a Friday, the next weekend, we can be on the water with that idea pretty much. So it helped us really, really push the boundaries of the foil designs for us and everything. We could explore many things. And that's how today we have a foil range, I feel, that is pretty mature, and we're still discovering things every year. So that tool there, the foil workshop, really helps us to develop new innovations in foiling. And then same as the sales, we go testing on the water, feedback to Charles and Doc. We have a meeting every Friday morning, every week. So we feedback what we've tested during the past week. And then we decide on where we want to go, which sample we want to build, which are priority, which are not.
Do you want to talk about how Doc is having you test different layups without telling you actually what's in it?
Yeah, to prove the importance of the structural design, this is how we work on it. So we develop the foil and we confirm a shape design with the samples here. And then we send the file to the factory so they can create a mold. Then it takes 1.5 months to 2 months. And then the first sample that come out of the factory, we have usually in between 3 and 5 different constructions. So 5 different structural designs made by Doc, and they're called ABCD, and then we go on the water and test it. And these foils are totally different. Some you don't want to ride them because they're horrible. And some others, they feel incredible and really smooth and controllable and everything. This is coming out of the same factory mold, but with different carbon layups and construction inside. So that's to show that even with a good design, you can do sheet foil pretty much. And so then we tell Doc, okay, we all really like the B foil. And he said, okay, that's what I've done with this one in terms of layup. Then we learn, okay, on high aspect foils, maybe that type of layup is better. On mid aspect foil, that type of layer is better, depending on the profile, depending on thickness of the foil, everything. So we learn a lot from that. And then that's when we really confirm production foil. So we want this shape with the B layup, and that's how we go into production. And then we test the layup on all the other sizes.
Yes, now that's
obviously because it's different. The layup in between 550 and 1050 skate, for example, is different. So that's a lot of work. Once you get the right design, you're maybe halfway or 75% done the job, and there's a lot more to do.
How long would you say that takes from?
Wow. Skate was the longest, probably, Skate V3.
Yeah,
like
because
a year and a half.
From zero to finish. Yes, almost 2. Yeah.
Almost 2 years. And then the shortest, I don't know, maybe 6 months, a little bit less than a year.
It's long because when we have one size here, then we have to design all other size, order the mold,
Depends
check
if
the
you
layer.
talk from first sample to the production, but it's not less than a year probably. If you talk from first proto to full production on the market.
Yeah, 1 year it's fast. Huh?
Yeah. Small. We have to think
really
2 years in advance.
Yes.
So we have to know in 2 years what the consumer will want to do in the water, which is really hard also.
Yes. What discipline?
And Charles, Bertrand, and Doc also work closely on boards, foil boards, but also surfs and twin tips. Do you want to go into that?
Charles Bertrand is our designer for boards and foil since 2013 or 2012. So long time
I think
ago.
he's the only one is the one of the few in the company that's been there longer than me.
Yes. So he was our designer for the surfboard, the twin tip, all the SUP when we were doing SUP, classic SUP, and all the foils since the first F1 foils. So it's impressive to have that background, all together. He's not testing much, and he relied totally on the team here for the result of the testing. So he doesn't have that part of making almost a product to the end, like Ralph and Charles Bordel or Nicolas. And we do all the testing.
Yeah, it's more the same system as Robert, for example.
Yes, yeah, where he's purely, mainly designing and we do all the testing.
Which works really well too.
Yeah. It's really complicated to be able to test a surf foil on a surfboard, winging, a downwind foil, a free-riding foil, a beginner foil. Those are really different program tools. So you need to be able to, you need to have the right level to be able to test all the different discipline of each sport, which is a lot at the end.
We also have quite a lot of people around the test team that can test the products. So the team here at F1 headquarters, a lot of them are passionate about water sports. So they have some time to go test the samples. So we can have the feedback from people that are not official testers or athletes, also.
Pro riders, they are not.
Yeah. So you have people from beginners here to expert level to intermediate. So we can have the feedback from, not only pro riders. And we also have some people around Montpellier that we give them some samples for feedback because, for example, we have no one racing on wings here in the office. No one really does that. So when we have like an escape or something to test, we want to know how it performs in free ride racing. Then we have someone here. When also we want to test how strong one of our product is, we have some people in mind that break everything. They are that type of riders that always break everything. So we know, we have 4 or 5 of them. And when we have something that we really want to push, then we send it to them and tell them, for example, for the T2 connection, we sent them 7Cs 1300 and we told them, okay, now you do freestyle with it, you jump and you try to destroy it. And if it doesn't move, then nobody's going to be able to break that thing. So we have different type of testers and it's a whole ecosystem around the brand.
And of course, we are in contact with our pro rider and asking them what they would like to improve. Sometimes it's not what the customer needs, but our pro rider need to have the best equipment to perform. So we need to listen to them as well.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a balance also that's important. I know I've had this conversation with Ralph about finding the right balance between what your pro big air rider, let's say, wants, which is a really high performance kite, but the average customer just is never going to ride in 65 knots, crazy conditions. And you have to find that right balance. And I think that's what the designers like in terms of challenge as well.
Yeah. It was, Ralph is used to it, but Charles Bordel is making a kite for himself.
Right.
And then we ask him to test it with a twin tip. Look that it will be a good kite for the customers as well. So it was a challenge for him. He's so specialized into his kite falling bigger than it was super interesting to see to jump on his kite with a twin tip and doing free ride was also really fun.
It's always good to have, as we said, we have a healthy competition. So in between all design team and test team, and they exchange a lot. and we exchange a lot. And on the Parawing side, for example, Nick was really into going upwind, being comfortable and having the right angle and speed. And when we tested with Vincent, the designer, who also downwinds, Vincent and I came from sub-downwinding. So we were more focused on, is it easy to pack? Or does it fit in a small bag, or does it tangle a lot? So the boss background and experience really mixed, and then that's how we came with a really balanced product. And that's what we try to do with every different product also. On the balance between pro riders and regular users, Ralph has a pretty good vision. He says that whatever your level, you need to be comfortable. So an athlete that is going to be 24 meters up in the air, pulling a double loop, needs to be confident and comfortable and know where the kite goes and know what the kite's going to be. And the product needs to be predictable. It's the exact same for a beginner that will go in 25 knots and pull his first loops. He needs that comfort and confidence in the kite. So if you do a product that is smooth, controllable, predictable, then everyone will be happy, mainly. So that's what we try to do in every product of the range too.
How do you see the future of R&D at F1? It's a big question. Or what's the vision?
Going to buy OEM products from the factories, put the logo on it. And,
For sure. I think we have set up a fantastic team. Today we are on, nothing can scare us, Every new sport coming, or every new discipline, or anything new, we are able to produce it, develop it. So we feel really confident with the team we have set up.
Yeah, same. Feel really good now. More confident than 5 years ago, to be honest, because I didn't really know where we were going, with this transition. But really, really stoked now. Really passionate to see all these samples coming and all these new products and successful sales and everything. So that's it really feels great.
It's funny because we have competitors brands that are specialized in foiling and sometimes specialize in downwind foils only. And they mainly work only on that. And we have brands that are really specialized only on para wings, only on wings, or only on bigger kites, So as a more general brand with all those disciplines, we need to be better than every specialist. And it's a huge challenge because they are concentrate only on one thing. And even if they are smaller, they can be innovative. So sometimes a little shaper in his shaping room can create something incredible. So we have to be able to produce all those different range, but be innovative and ahead of the competition. That's a huge challenge.
Without becoming, but I think that's how we will avoid becoming mainstream. I really don't like that word, So being seen as a core brand in every discipline is really important to me. We need to be as good as every specialist brands, which is hard sometimes.
Sometimes if I talk to my family or friends that are not at all into our world, industry, they don't really know what I'm doing. They ask me what is new and how my work has changed, and I can explain them a little bit like, cars. The morning I will test Formula One cars, so I have to be fast on the track and test engine, suspension, tires, give result, and I pack everything, go out, and I have to test a four-wheel drive and go into the desert and going fast and testing something completely different. Then I go on the road and test a classic car. So during the day, I can go from one world to a completely different world. And we have to have the best Formula One car, the best four-wheel drive, the best pickup, the best fast car for the road. It's impressive, all the different aspects we have to reach.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm stoked.
You still get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not so fun to go from kiting to winging to testing foil in the same day.
Right.
You have to concentrate on kiting. Suddenly you pack everything, put everything back into the car, pull out the wings, concentrate on wings. And in the evening or the morning, you have to make the report for the different designer, remember everything you have done in 4 or 5 hours spent on the spot with 3 different sports. And it's really crazy the amount of testing we have to do today.
Yeah.
But again,
Julien is laughing because
I'm stoked.
he said, my days at the office are crazy too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I mean, again, we're lucky to be in these sports.
Yeah.
I've been mountain biking for 10 years almost, really doing from like 12 to 20 years old. I was really into mountain biking more than water sports at the time, which is weird. And I've always thought that a bike is something incredible because you can do so many things from enduro, cross country, downhill, slopestyle, BMX, dirt, racing and road. And I thought that maybe if our water sports were more like that, we would have even more people coming to the water and more people being stoked on our sports. And today it's like that. So really stoked. It really created a challenge as a brand, and especially in between of this transition from my parents to I. So the last few years have been intense, but really, really incredible at the same time. And now I feel like we have a very strong foundation to create anything we want and to push the brand even further. So it's all good.
Well, thank you, Julien and Raph, for this very insightful episode of Inside F1. I think we really went backstage here, so that was really interesting. Don't hesitate to leave us a comment or any questions that you have. We'll be happy to answer them. And let us know what you would like to hear about next. Bye. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks to all.